So you sent an email, I believe it may have been a mailer as well,
Right.
about some ideas that you have, how you could better things here in Allen County and better things in the court system. The first subject that you talked about was the domestic violence problem-solving court that would be within Allen Superior Court. Can you tell me a little bit about that idea?
All right. First of all, I don't put them forth as promises. I refer to them as goals, because in order to get even a domestic problem-solving court in the Allen Superior Court, the first thing I have to do is I have to get 8 other judges to approve it, and then I have to get the Indiana Supreme Court State Court Division of Administration or something like that to approve it. So I refer to it as a goal. But my goal is to establish a problem-solving court, domestic violence problem-solving court within the Allen Superior Court. I go there with some trepidation because people may view this as a criticism of what the Superior Court's doing, and it's really not. It's the Superior Court does a good job of it. It's just that I feel it can be a little better. And the problem is a lack of continuity. Let me run through a scenario. There is an act of domestic violence in Allen County. Well, what happens then? Well, statistics tell us that 55% of all domestic violences are never reported to anybody. So right off the bat, let's just say half of them, nothing happens. But let's say it gets reported or something gets done about it. What gets done about it? Well, one avenue is for the person, the victim, to complain to the police. The police come out, then the police deal with that in some fashion or another, make a report to the prosecutor. The prosecutor either files misdemeanor charges against the individual or felony charges against the individual. If there's a small child involved, that's a little different. So right off the bat, on the criminal sort of leg of this journey, it goes either to misdemeanor court, felony court, or it could go out to the juvenile court, the Allen County Juvenile Center. So that's one set of scenarios. Well, let's say the police don't get involved. Let's say there's just this dispute. Well, the next morning somebody goes to the Allen Superior Civil Division and asks for a protective order. Okay, that protective order is generally granted. It's the Superior Court's got a good attitude about this. They say if we're going to make a mistake, we're going to err on the side of caution. So it's usually granted as an ex parte matter. An ex parte simply means there's just one. The judge hears one side of it, and then the other party, once they get the order saying stay away, don't go near the person, whatever, they have an opportunity to come in and have their day in court, and both sides have to show up. Well, then that day comes, and what can happen? Well, both sides can show up and have their say, and then the judge makes a decision. Or maybe the victim doesn't show up and it gets dismissed. Or maybe the instigator doesn't show up and it gets issued for a 2-year time period. A third sort of avenue that can happen in domestic violence is oftentimes it's a precursor to dissolution of marriage. So then you've got a whole nother avenue where people file for divorce. And so if that happens, then you've got a whole nother set within the Allen Superior Court that are dealing with problems. So if you think about this, you've got sort of this criminal side, felony or misdemeanor. You've got the possibility of it going out to the juvenile center. You've got it in civil court, and you've got it in the domestic relations division. Essentially, you've had one incident that could show up in any one of the various divisions. All I'm suggesting is that we have a little bit more of continuity about the problem from start to finish, because each one of those divisions handles things in a different way. And so the best analogy I can have, perhaps, for what I'm thinking about is, if you think about the assembly line when Henry Ford developed it, you know, car came down the line and one guy would screw a bolt on, or another guy would put a chair on, or a windshield, or a tire or something, and it was all sort of mass production, and everybody really knew what to do when the job showed up in front of them, and it was really a great way. It advanced civilization tremendously. But that's not the way most assembly lines are working now. There is much more of a team effort, and there's a greater understanding of not just the beginning product, but the end product. And if I've got a problem, maybe you've got a solution. And so that's sort of, I'm looking more for an integrated approach, more continuity from beginning to end. Indianapolis and South Bend have a domestic violence problem-solving court. It's time for Allen County to get one. That's simply it. And just to provide more continuity from beginning to end. And again, it's not a criticism of the Allen Superior Court's current system. It's just simply a better way, I believe, of doing it.